Welcome to Productions MJC.
In a recent conversation with a flat earther, I was exposed to yet again another flat earth word salad lesson. The ever-changing terms and words are really hard to keep up with. For those of you that are new to flat earth, probably haven't heard these terms ever, and so you think they're real.
Perspective.
Yes, John, we'll get to that one. That's an old one. But you popped a new one on me. Oh, by the way, that's John, the guy I had the conversation with. He popped a new phrase on me.
What we call is incoherent static acceleration.
Okay, so let's just break that down for everybody. Electrostatic acceleration, but the key word is incoherent electrostatic acceleration. So what's the big deal about that? Just hearing that phrase, all those fancy scientific words mixed together, what comes to mind? What are you thinking of? What could he possibly be talking about? You know what he's talking about? Gravity.
It's not gravity. We don't call it gravity because gravity doesn't exist.
Yes, I get it, John. I get it. Gravity doesn't exist. This is how you say the world exists. We understand that. But let's think about this logically. 7 years ago, they didn't even make up fake words for gravity. They would just say gravity doesn't exist. But now they come up with incoherent electrostatic acceleration. So after years of being asked, hey, why doesn't stuff go left? Why does it go down? Why doesn't it go right? Why doesn't it go up? Why is it always down? They come up with the fake words. Now, this fake explanation for seasons has been around for a while, but gravity has never existed until recently, because they just couldn't deny that there is some force that moves everything down, and it is gravity.
It's not gravity. We don't call it gravity because gravity doesn't exist.
John, if it didn't exist, you wouldn't have to make up a fake term for it, right?
What we call is incoherent static acceleration.
Look, John, you can call it Barney the Purple Dinosaur's cohesive attraction coefficient, for all I care. It's still gravity.
It's not gravity. We don't call it gravity because gravity doesn't exist.
Then why do you feel the need to make up a fake pseudoscience term for it if it doesn't exist? Why go to all the trouble of linking three words together that have never been linked together before in the history of man? Why are you linking them together now and then turn around and saying gravity doesn't exist? Makes no sense, dude. Just because someone is in denial and refuses to use a word that's used by everybody else doesn't mean something doesn't exist. If you're going to make up your own version and your own term for something that exists like gravity.
It's not gravity. We don't call it gravity.
John, stop. We get it. Now look, let's look at these words individually and see what you're saying. What are you saying when you say incoherent electrostatic acceleration? Let's look at that first one, incoherent. I have up right now a flat earth incoherent explanation for the seasons. Incoherent. That's your first clue. That's a trigger word. They're making fun of you. The flat earth video makers are mocking you. Because what does incoherent mean? Incoherent means to express something in an incomprehensible or confusing way, to be unclear. So, I mean, come on. They're making fun of you. Because what does it mean when a person is incoherent? Well, they lack the normal clarity or cohesion of thought. They lack normal clarity in speech or thought. Okay? And examples of an incoherent person is a person that talks nonsense and makes no sense. So their term is making fun of you, and you don't get it. They are literally making fun of you. They literally admit it makes no sense. That's what incoherent means. Shall we move on to electrostatic? Yeah, let's do that. Electrostatic. What does that mean? Static means something that is lacking in movement, action, or change, especially in a way viewed as undesirable or uninteresting. But hold on though. Acceleration. What is acceleration's the opposite of static, right? But oh, wait a minute, you throw that scientific electrostatic on there and woohoo, that's got to mean something, right? The way John tried to explain it was the Earth has a positive charge and the air has a negative charge. That's why everything falls down, because it's attracted to the Earth. Kind of like magnetism, but it's at a cellular level where the Earth has a positive charge, the air has a negative charge, so any object that's in the air, of course, sucks up this negative charge. So when you let go of a brick, it falls to the ground because that positive charge. Yeah, nope. The problem is lightning going from the ground up into the clouds shoots that idea right in the shorts, destroys it, because that's wrong for the positive ground, negative air idea, because that's the exact opposite. So, whoops. And quite honestly, there are lots of things that make that totally wrong. But it's time to move on to some other word salad, because that one's shot just by lightning going up in the sky. And just linking a bunch of science words together doesn't make something real. Speaking of that, how many of you have heard the term angular resolution? Now, angular resolution is a real term. However, the definition that Flat Earth uses and offers up and tries to foster off on everybody is not an actual definition for the term angular resolution. Let me show you what they mean. 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, Flat Earthers used to claim that ships did not disappear from the bottom up. And they had every excuse, like all you got to do is zoom in and you're fine, and boom, there's the boat. And yet, well, and they were the only ones with the P900, so they could tell you that, hey, if you zoom in, you can see the whole boat again. Only one problem. A lot of people started to buy that P900 and started to zoom back in, and lo and behold, all of the boat didn't come back into view. Parts of it were missing. And to make matters worse, when it really got out there, a lot of the boat was missing. A lot of the boat was missing. So what was happening here? It can't be curvature. Oh, no. What is it? What's going on? And now we have angular resolution. Well, it sounds pretty good, right? Because that's some scientific words, and they're strung together, and holy cow, it is actually in the dictionary. This one's in the dictionary. Does any flat earther bother to look at the definition of angular resolution? No. The actual definition of the real term angular resolution simply means the ability of the device you're looking with, its ability to differentiate and discern whether there are one or two things out there that you're looking at. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with the angle at which you are attempting to resolve the image. But that's what they try to get. Field of view is another fake one for that, is, well, you're looking at the wrong angle. Your field of view has narrowed trying to look at that one as opposed to the one to the left. So you're field of view has narrowed to where you can't see that. That's absolute word salad bunk. As more and more people got P900s, then the flat earth video makers ran into a problem. People could see that boats did disappear from the bottom up. So they go hijack a real scientific term called angular resolution, and they try to trick their folks into thinking that, oh, you're not resolving at the correct angle. That's what it is. You know, your field of view is narrowed, and your angle at which you're attempting to resolve something is totally wrong. And really, angular resolution means the device you're using, whether it's an eye or a camera or a telescope's ability to see two things or one. That's all it is. It's the ability of your device. And that's it. I don't know how many people I've told that to, and they go up and look at the definition up and they go, well, they took the flat earth definition out. The flat earth definition was never real to begin with. They didn't take anything out. Oh, jeez. And that's not the end of it. With those videos or pictures of boats that had disappeared beyond the curve, behind the horizon, well, they came up with a new thing, compression. Okay? However, as you can see, oddly enough, compression doesn't seem to affect the boat in the middle, and only a little bit on the left, and a whole bunch on the right. And yet it's all in one frame. Oh, that in CGI, Photoshop, you know, any port in a storm to try to hide from the truth. And of course they hate this photo because there's no mirage. You know, no compression, no nothing. So yeah, more word salad terms that there are so many. I mean, we could go on, and there's some that don't make any sense. Atmospheric lensing. Yeah, there's one. We could talk about that. We could.
Perspective.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I did say we would get to perspective. So yeah, let's take a look at p-brane's illustration of perspective and notice the ground isn't even flat, is it? Perspective. The sun stays the same size. It doesn't get smaller. We could go on, but perspective? It's a drawing term. It is a drawing term to demonstrate, illustrate, and illustrate one simple thing. An optical illusion. Optical illusion. Operative word, illusion. And I really do have to give credit and really admire the work of p-brane here, because he did illustrate and demonstrate the optical illusion of perspective. But it's just more word salad, just more ways to try to fool you and twist your brain around and say fancy terms that really don't even apply to what you're talking about. I mean, it's a drawing term. There is no vanishing point. Nothing vanishes. It's just more word salad, just more junk heaped onto the pile. We talked about, well, I mentioned atmospheric lensing. Did you know that atmospheric lensing isn't really what they say it is? Now, remember the way they twisted around the angular resolution? Atmospheric lensing does not mean that the atmosphere acts like a lens and magnifies things. It means multipath mirage. Like when you look and you see 2, 6, 8 pairs of headlights coming at you from a single automobile. That's atmospheric lensing. That's what it really means. And of course you'll get the flat earther that will argue, oh no, really, the air acts like a magnifying glass, like a Fresnel lens. It does. No, it doesn't. If it did, then mountains in the distance would be magnified. Birds would be magnified. You wouldn't need to zoom in on the boat on the ocean because the atmosphere would magnify it and lens effect and make it big anyway. So you wouldn't have. No, doesn't happen. The Fresnel lens is a modified magnifying glass just to make it fit in a smaller area. And the atmosphere doesn't do that. It just really honestly doesn't. Most of the terms, most of the things that Flat Earth uses and says, like atmospheric lensing, multipath mirage. That's all it is. Doesn't mean the air acts like a magnifying glass. And all these other terms I've mentioned. They hijack real terms. They add their own definitions to real terms. They make up their own terms that have never ever been used before. So be careful. Get yourself a dictionary so that you can see it's all a bunch of word salad garbage that is doublespeak, and it's intended to fool weak-minded people. Don't be fooled. Do your research like they say.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day. This has been Productions MJC.